Hi, hello, and welcome. My name is Sheldon, and I'm your host for tonight. This is Book Reads Live, and today we have with us a very interesting guest, a mother, an engineer, a poet, and a blogger, Shilpa Sekhar. Belgam, Belgavi Poetry Festival. Hi, Shilpa.
Hi, Sheldon.
Hi. I was just telling our viewers about the Belgaum International Poetry Festival
Mhm.
2022. This is the second edition, and we are having poetry in four languages like English, Hindi, Kannada, and Marathi. There is no age limit, and it's an international event. So I was just briefing our guests about it. I'm sure you have already heard about the Belgaum International Poetry Festival.
Yes, it's actually a great initiative, and I'm looking forward to participating in it pretty soon.
Great. So, Shilpa, can you tell our guests, our viewers, a little more about yourself?
Well, as Sheldon has already mentioned, I'm Shilpa Sekhar. I'm a mother. I'm a poetess. I have two of my books published, one in English and in Hindi. And I have been writing poems since quite a few years now. I'm basically from Belgaum, Karnataka. I'm an engineer. I've worked briefly with TCS and
Oh,
then have taken a 24/7.
okay, that's a nice. So I didn't get the last bit.
Sorry?
I didn't get the last bit. Can you just-
I said I have taken up the most challenging job of being a mother, 24/7 job.
Okay. I think that's a pretty rewarding career.
Yes, in many ways, which people don't understand.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I have read a few of your poetries, and they're very wonderful poems, no doubt.
Thank you.
I find them to be little women centric.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. I uh, I've even heard that you're a blogger.
Yes, I have my own blog, Unchained Mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what is your primary inspiration to from engineer to writer,
Well,
or was it
we,
writing that made you quit your job?
no, nothing like that. I have been a passionate reader since childhood. My parents have inculcated the beautiful reading habits in me since I was a kid, and somehow it used to transport me into a wonderland where I used to read a lot of books and be lost in the fictional stories as such.
Okay.
Somehow, those days I never realized that I was grasping so many new vocabulary, in expanding my vocabulary when I was reading. After years, when I would suddenly see something or someone, one particular word, a descriptive word would pop up in my brain, which I would have read years back in some novels. I've
Oh,
mainly read Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew in
okay.
my teenage days. So there were a lot of adjectives used to describe a person's character, so, to
Oh,
help you visualize the character basically. So I would not really understand the meaning then. Years
mhm.
later, when I would see some person, I could relate that word. Okay, that's what this word means.
Okay.
So somehow, when I kind of got a few lines, a couple of lines in mind, it just started one day. I don't really know when and how. It just
Okay.
started. And
Oh,
though the poems which you have read in my book, those are basically women centric, women
mhm.
oriented, you can say. But I have written poems from like a wide range of topics. It's not just women oriented or women centric. Those are
No,
what have,
okay.
yeah, those are just the
Published.
books which are out. This just I think I have two books right now. Each book has 20 poems. These
Oh,
are
okay.
just 40 of out of more than 150 plus poems that I've written.
Oh, so we are going to see a lot of books coming out.
Hopefully,
Oh, fantastic. So it's how many years now you have been writing poet?
roughly 5 years.
5 years. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, interesting.
It's just a phase, like when I'm in that phase of writing, I kind of can write about anything. Like if I see a white wall around me, I can write. I have written a poem on white walls also. It's like the white walls of the hospital. I was in the hospital one day and I was like, I kept seeing the white wall for a long time, and then I just got inspired to write on those lines.
Ah, do you have that poem with you?
Not right now.
Okay, okay, okay. Great, great. So, echoes of silence. What is the gist, or like, can you tell us what that book mainly aims at? Because it is echoes of silence. Silence cannot be heard. So when you say there's like silence into silence or something like that.
That's the reason I chose that topic actually. It resonates very well with the content of the book.
Okay,
The poems in this book mainly are the voice of women who
okay.
haven't been heard till date for various reasons. You
Uh-huh.
know how our society is and how the women are treated, majorly ill treated, you can say. And even if there's a thin line actually, like people don't really recognize these things unless it's in the extreme form. So there are many women, not just people who are like below the poverty line or downtrodden parts of the society
Mhm.
in general, on a day-to-day life amongst us, who have so much to say, but they either don't have the courage or they don't have the opportunity, or they are not having the audience to be heard. So I have
Mhm.
seen so many women around me who have been in this plight for ages, and still they have been striving hard to maintain their balance and carry
Okay.
on with their life. So I have compiled the poems thinking about those women, what they have in their mind, what they want to say, and what they couldn't. So it's basically an unheard woman's voice, you can say.
Hmm. So if I have to sum it up, so I could say that your poems are more of a platform, or some kind of a voicing out for people who don't have a voice
Yes.
or are
Yes.
unwilling to express.
Yeah. Like you can
Okay.
say
So that is
people
this
who,
particular book.
yeah, Echoes of Silence is that. This
Okay.
book has poems which you can say can be a woman's voice. They are, it's an unheard voice. That's the name of the books actually. Echoes of Silence, her unheard voice. That's the
Oh,
subtitle of the
okay.
book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, right. Okay. So, your poetry is inspired by what you see around you.
Yes.
Okay. So, is there could you recite any of the poems from your book?
Yeah. I would love to.
Oh, that would be nice.
So this is my book, Echoes of
Oh, okay.
Silence, her unheard voice. And I have one of my favorites from this book is Stop Binding Me.
Oh, okay.
That's the title of the poem, Stop Binding Me. Uh, would you like me to read out the entire poem or just a few lines?
As you wish. Is
Okay.
it a really long poem?
Okay. I'll read out a couple of verses, which is my favorite, I can tell you.
Sure, sure. Go ahead.
So, what I wear or what I do is something not concerned with you. What I eat and whom I meet isn't to be questioned, I repeat. It's my choice, not yours to choose. It's my call if I want to let my hair loose. Whether I want to chill and stay at home or be the entrepreneur working in Rome. This is basically these lines basically depict how everybody tries to control women over absolutely everything they want to do. If somebody dresses up in a particular way, it's questioned. No matter what she's wearing, it's questioned. If she's working, she's questioned. If she's not working, she's questioned. If she has kids, she's questioned. If she doesn't have kids, she's questioned. So it's just my take. Like, stop binding me.
Okay, okay, very fitting. But I think this is maybe not a very common thing, right? Was these kind of things? I'm hoping that this is something that is very rare instances now.
We think it's rare. Trust me, I have seen it a lot around me. That's what inspired me to compile a poem like this. Because
Okay.
no matter what threat of the society, I have found so many women still being restricted for some or the other thing. I have met people who are general managers in their company, CEOs in their company, and just the normal entry level people. Everybody has restrictions. I would be like, okay, she is the general manager. Why does she have to take permission? Like, why is she going to be restricted? She's the general manager. Then I was shocked to know that no, I can't just walk out like that. I have some things I need to check at home, and I'll get back to you only when feel I can. That was like, why? It was a
Yeah,
very
I can really I can understand that. Yes, yes.
yeah.
I mean,
So
gender roles are such that I think the wing scale are more on one end than the other.
it is improving, but far, far slower than what is needed.
I heard your second book was recently launched,
Yes, it's a
and
book
that
of
is, I
Hindi.
think, on a romantic side, judging from the title, or I may be wrong to judge.
It is Dil Ki Tanhai. It is again on
Okay,
a similar lines in
okay,
Hindi. Its Echoes of Silence was Unheard Voice,
okay,
and it's more of for what do you say? It's like a it's like a voice of many women, but it's not just from a relationship point of view. Whereas Dil Ki Tanhai, it's more like a emotional take of a woman,
okay.
how lonely she feels.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
in her relationship, basically.
okay. And so, okay, let's say you have so you if you want to tell people or give them three tips, or let's say three. Let's start with the small number three. uh, to writing their own poetry or to unearth, unearth their talents, what would be your three pointers or quick?
First and foremost thing, at any point of the day or night, whenever you get any words or lines in your mind, please note them down, because this has happened so often with me. At night, I usually have lines floating in my mind when I'm about to sleep, and I just repeat them a couple of times in my mind, and then I'm like, okay, I'm too bored to get up and note them down either in my phone or in my diary. So I say I'll just remember these, and then maybe I'll jot these down tomorrow morning. Trust me, every single time I have forgotten, and I don't even remember a single word the next day morning. So please note down whatever comes in your mind. And when you do note it down, trust me, it so happens that words just keep flowing, and you might end up finishing the entire poem right at that moment, which actually is a very good thing. That flow, the momentum is very good when it happens in one moment. That's the first tip I would give.
Okay,
Second thing, I am not a very a great poet or such. I'm just learning. I'm still in the learning phase. I have read so many poems which literally goes beyond my understanding. It's very intense, you can say. The words, the wordings, the verses are so strong. I go blank reading them. So my poems are mainly, I choose to keep them rhyming For me, poems means rhyming. The ending should be rhyming. But there are very good poems out there which do not rhyme. So you choose. Whoever is writing, it's their choice. However they want a poem to sound. When you are done with your poem, when you read it, it should feel good to you. You cannot please others by your poem. If you keep thinking about others, then basically you'll never finish that poem, because everybody will find one or two lines odd and awkward. So if it's good for you, it's good enough. Don't change. That'll be the second tip, I think. And third would be always store them. Don't lose them, because you never know when opportunity comes knocking. Because I hadn't ever thought that I'll have a book, or forget to I didn't even thought I'll have one book. I just wrote, just because I got some thoughts in my head. I would just write it down. While writing it down, I would see, okay, they are rhyming, so let me write a couple of more lines in the same way, on the same topic. And this is how I started writing. My mother till date reminds me that when I was a small kid, I had written a poem on a butterfly. She keeps telling me, and she actually laughs at me saying, "Butterfly, butterfly, where do you fly?" That was the lines what I had written. I don't know the rest, but that's what she keeps telling. You were a poet since childhood. So maybe it was there somewhere hidden down, and after all these years, it did surface. So I think those would be my 3 pointers for the budding writers, budding poets.
Something to share with. One, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know whether somebody would be able to jot down every time they have a thought, and moreover, whether that would actually turn into a poem. Because actually, my question was on your going to be on your first thing is, does the rhyme actually come on its own, or do you ask it and restructure it later? So I think
I,
you answered
I
it. Yeah, you think in rhyme. So I think that is a God given talent, and pretty
no, no.
amazing.
I I want my poems to rhyme.
Yeah,
I
everybody.
I take care that
Okay.
the words I choose. Suppose I get a line, the next line is not rhyming. I take time and restructure it. First, I
Okay.
just jot down whatever comes to mind.
Yeah. So first is scribble, then is
Yes,
think. Okay.
yes.
I would go to second point. I would say is something that I would say you can apply even outside poetry, which makes a lot of sense. Is to if you like something, you like it. You don't have to wait for the world to validate it, and
True.
that was a powerful message that I would like. I would pick up from your 3 points, because other than poetry, there's other art forms where again everything is subjective, as beauty is subjective. So like the painting behind you, somebody may say it's totally, it's very beautiful, and somebody will say that the left and the right are not matching. So it's like that. So I would go with, yeah, that's a very second one is very important. And third one, yes, storing and opportunity knocking reminds me of our poetry festival again. So I'll just circle back to that.
Yes.
The Belgavi International Poetry Festival that is happening, the last date of entry is the 22nd of May. So there is a lot of time for everybody who has a small little poem. Let the world hear it. You don't know, it may be the next sensational hit, and you may be the next poet having or poetess having published a book. So since age is no bar, I also believe that many people get inspiration at any age. And now I've come to know that you have had inspiration at your childhood, which you did not know about. So it's a resurfaced gem
Talent.
or a talent, yes. So that is nice. So yeah, basically 2 and 3 I totally agree with. One, I would not. I don't know whether it is for everybody. Somebody like me, I mean, usually my thought process is such that I get all the thoughts when I'm riding or driving, so it's impossible for me to note them down. So it is.
I know it's difficult. If you have a good memory to retain those thoughts, then good for you. I have tried doing that and I've failed miserably. That's why that was my first tip. Because trust me, I've lost very good poems.
Yes, yes,
Those
I know
very
that. I
good
know
lines,
that.
and I'm up in the morning and I'm like a blank screen. whitewashed wall. I'm like, God, what was that word? And trust me, I would repeat it so that, I learn it by heart and then I would go back to sleep. Okay, I don't want to wake up now, but I learn this and then sleep. So I would just repeat it thinking that, yes, now I know this, so I won't forget it. And in the morning, I would not even remember a word of those lines. I would feel so bad because those were really good lines. I have never got those lines back. Never.
Uh, okay.
Oh, because of that, I think I might have missed out on good
Another
poetry.
book. Okay, just a poem, not another book.
They could have been in a book, maybe.
I have also read your blog. I feel that the theme of your book and the blog are all a very similar line. So,
Yes.
are you looking
Feminist.
into some kind of counseling career or planning to go into politics maybe?
No. Politics, definitely no. Counseling, I wouldn't mind actually, because I am a kind of, what do you call, unofficial counselor for my friends. I have a
Okay,
lot of friends who come to me for counseling and they are happy with what I counsel them.
okay,
In
nice, nice.
layman's language, you can call it the agony aunt column.
Come again?
Agony aunt. There's a
Agony
column,
aunt.
agony
Yes,
aunt.
yes, I know that.
You can
Okay,
say I'm kind of the
newspaper
agony
column.
aunt for my friends. Anybody who has a problem, they come to me and they're like, okay, so and so happened. What do I do? Or even if it's just to hear, I'm an empathetic person actually. So that kind of helps me to relate and help others thinking from their point of view. I step into their shoe and actually feel how they are feeling at the moment and tell them some things, whatever is needed at that time, and they feel really good. So, most of my friends have a lot of trust and faith in me and my advice.
Good, great. So 150 plus poems, blogging. I heard dancing and drawings. How
That's,
do you do it? Sorry.
that's mine too.
Oh, I did not know. Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. I okay. That was just a comment about that not being equal.
No, no, no. It's okay. It is actually, if you see the big picture, it is uniform. You're just
Okay.
seeing like a part of it. So I get it.
So anyway, my question was, how do you manage your time then?
Well, I took a long gap in between. I haven't been doing everything at once. So
Okay.
I make sure that I'm doing just few things at a time, not everything at a time. So
Okay.
since I'm a stay-at-home mother, I am fully busy with managing the house and my kid, handling her school studies and her extracurricular activities. I have to take care about her nutrition, her physical activities, and all that thing. So apart from that, whenever I get my time, I make sure I have focused on my fitness and health as well, because that's what she's observing. She watches what I do and she's learning from that. If I'm doing yoga, she's like, okay, I want to do yoga with you. I said, yes, please join. So I feel doing this, I'm setting the right example that health is better taken care of the earliest. You shouldn't be waiting till you fall sick to take care of your health. Work on your fitness as you grow. So she is doing it, and I'm happy to see that. I'm trying to inculcate the habit of reading. She's a little hesitant to try.
I think with
She's
new age mobiles and television, it's a little bit difficult.
difficult. It's difficult, but I am trying my part. Let's see,
The
because
book
it's
reads,
not
we have the initiative only for this. We want to get the teenagers and the youth back into the habit of reading, make it something that is talked about. I mean, our school days, we used to have book discussions. Now it's something that never happens. All the discussion I hear about is some or the other new game or some TV series or something.
exactly. The thing is, not everybody is interested in books. I've seen this in my own family. Like me and my brother were both introduced to books at a certain age, same kind of age, like 7 or 8 years. I took to it very eagerly. He did read it, but he was limited. Like I have read it well into. my early 20s, you can say. I have read Sidney Sheldon, I have read Agatha Christie, I have read James Hadley Chase, and lot more books, and I've finished the entire collections of the author actually. My
Wow.
dad has a vast collection of books, so I have almost read all his books, all the books my dad has, and even even now I have quite a few books, but I'm not finding time to just read them.
Oh, finally, now you feel like a human because I was wondering, like, so many activities, and how does one fit it in the?
No, 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 no. It's not possible. It's really not possible. And I don't push myself because I have seen many people who do that. They want to do everything. I'm like, no, I'll do three or four things which I want to do and which I need to do. I let go of the other things. I don't want to be like, okay, tick, 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 tick. No, no, no. I'm happy doing the limited parts, but I want to do it completely with wholeheartedly.
Okay, okay, okay. It's great, great. So, before we wrap up for today, I just want to invite you as well as other viewers to submit poetries to the Belgavi International Poetry Festival. Take a chance, take this opportunity up, and make the best of it. It is an international festival. Last year we had almost more 5,000 entries, and in all the four languages. And hopefully this year we're looking at something more than that. I mean, it's Belgaum because of its unique location, as you would already know since you were born and brought up there. They have four languages that are very prominent there, and so we want to promote Belgaum as a center where we can have this poetry festival year after year. This is second edition. First edition was good, and before this also we have had many of these Belgaum in Belgaum just festivals where we had physical. Thanks to COVID, we have got an opportunity to go on an international level. Last year, we had poetry from all around the world.
Oh,
So yeah, and it's amazing to know that there are poets who are actually not in India but are writing Kannada and Hindi poetries, even Marathi poetries. So it's a very good opportunity to connect. And again, book reads is another place where there's a good connect of all the readers and authors, bloggers. So it's a wonderful thing. And Shilpa, thank you so much for sparing time for us and beautiful poetry. And we look forward to book three maybe soon.
thank you.
And
It was
we'll
a
have you
pleasure.
again when you have. Sorry.
I said thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And for book three, we'll have another short discussion on that.
Hopefully.
Yes. Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.